So I'm not, I think we're gonna have to hear from the clerk on this. I think they sort of a little bit. Good morning. I will call to order our regularly scheduled meeting of Committee of the Whole for today, June 25th. My name is Elizabeth Glidden, and I am the chair of this committee, and I am joined today by council members Gordon, Reich, Andrew Johnson, Yang, Quincy, Warsami, Goodman, Fry, and Palmisano, and we are a quorum of the committee. For today, we do not have any items of business specific to Committee of the Whole, other than hearing reports of committees. And so I will turn to Councilmember Goodman, Chair of Community Development and Regulatory Services, for that committee's report.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. We have 19 items coming in front of us Friday morning. Item number 1 is moving forward with the housing revenue bond portion of the Commons at Penn. Item 2 is the land sale for that project. Items 3 and 4 and 5 are also land sales. 6 is an expansion of premise. 7 is making some changes to the temporary parking lot ordinance in the university area. Item 8 is a license revocation, as is item 9. Item 10 are all of the normal liquor, business, and gambling license applications. Item number 10 is a rental license reinstatement, and item 12 is a license reinstatement with conditions. Item number 13 is the county's contributions to a number of affordable housing projects in the city of Minneapolis. 14 are approvals of mayoral appointments to the Workforce Council. 15 is the first amendment to the Hennepin Theater Trust lease that was issued in 2005. 16 is authorizing a joint powers agreement with the City of St. Paul to facilitate new market tax credits. 17 is a land sale. 18 are just a few submittals to Minnesota Housing for rehab support and Green Homes North and Hennepin home ownership opportunity programs. We're asking the state for money for those programs. And 19 is authorizing a contract with Mortensen for the Target Center renovation project. With that, I'll answer questions on items 1 through 19.
Thank you. And I'll note I have not opened speaker management, so just let me know if anyone has any questions, comments. I'm not seeing anything, so we will move to health, energy, health, environment, and community engagement with that chair, Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you reminding everybody that energy issues also come to that committee. But the committee is now called the Health, Environment, and Community Engagement, and we will be bringing 5 items forward tomorrow. 1 is approval of the Southside United Neighborhood Priority Plan. The second is approving grants as part of our One Minneapolis Fund. The Lake Street Council was being awarded $15,000. Appetite for Change, the same amount. Asian Media Access, the same. Council on American Islamic Relations, $10,000. Youth Care, $10,000. Twin Cities Media Alliance, $10,000. And Organizing Apprenticeship Project, $5,000. The third item is authorizing a contract with Bridge Healthcare Partners to provide management services to the school-based clinics. The fourth item is authorizing an agreement with the state of Minnesota to accept a 2-year grant of $128,662. The fifth and final item is the recommendation from the Minneapolis Tree Advisory Commission about how to invest the money that we have set aside for city reforestation. And we will be moving the Ways and Means action. We had some discussion about this, and we modified the Tree Advisory Commission's recommendation by moving after the meeting, working with council members and staff by moving $75,000 out to go to the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board to assist with grinding and removal of tree stumps. I am happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Thank you. I am not seeing any questions from colleagues. Next, we have Public Safety, Civil Rights, and Emergency Management with Councilmember Bong Yang.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 4 items. The first item is to authorize a contract with the Downtown Improvement District to receive funds for $22,000 for police officer support of the Downtown Summer Community Engagement Pilot. The second item is to authorize contract amendment with the Hennepin County Sheriff for jail fees for police detainees estimated for 2014 at $1,966,908, and to authorize any documents necessary to effectuate the agreement. Third item is to authorize a contract agreements with the Hennepin County 4th District Court for $43,000 for a 1-year period for police department to provide drug court research and monitoring services and serving as liaison between the police department and the court. And the fourth item is to authorize a contract agreement with Minneapolis Special School District Number 1 to receive $1,060,000 in funds for providing Minneapolis police school resource officers in designated district schools.
All right, thank you. I am not seeing questions or comments. Next, we have Transportation and Public Works. With that, Chair, Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The committee will be forwarding 18 items, including the Stormwater Management Program Annual Report, the Urban Works Contract Amendment, agreement with the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Rail Company, an alley construction project, solid waste and recycling services at Minneapolis Park locations, Major League Baseball and Minnesota Twins Chevy Experience Pepsi All-Star Rock Party application approval, the Minnesota Food Truck Fair approval, Pedestrian Advisory Committee appointments, appointments to the special service districts throughout the city, support of the Green Corps member, Solid Waste and Recycling Division. We have items 11 through 17 will be items referred to the Ways and Means Committee, and we have a series of bids as our last set of items. I'll stand for questions on any item, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I am not seeing any questions from colleagues. And last, we have the Ways and Means report from Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. The Ways and Means Committee will bring forward 12 items for your consideration on Friday. The first is an investment policy and strategy for the city. It's actually the last. I'm going in reverse order. This is the first time that the city has had a formal investment policy, and it was a tremendous body of work from our finance staff, and wanted to highlight that for folks to peruse. The next item would be a system administrator position. This is adding a full-time employee software engineer 2 position to the office of the city clerk. This too is an important step forward the city as we're trying to implement an extensive legislative information management system and other initiatives through the clerk's office. The 10th item would be the labor negotiations for a collective bargaining agreement approval with Minneapolis, or tentative approval with Minneapolis Foremen's Association. Then the next item would be the authorizing the 3-year contract with Granicus in the amount not to exceed $210,000 through June 30th of 2017 for the platform automating the legislative workflow, agenda management, minutes, board management, and webcasting for streaming public meetings as part of the legislative information management system. The next item is a passage of a resolution authorizing a waiver for the qualified energy conservation bonds, reallocating that authority to the Metropolitan Airports Commission. We also have the write-off of 6 outstanding unpaid invoices, and executing a contract with Employee Strategies for workplace consulting services for Emergency Communications Center. We're accepting the low bid from Shaw Lundquist Associates, furnish and deliver product for exterior door replacement at the Convention Center. Authorizing executing a contract amended and restated agreement with Insight Wireless and Smart City to provide wireless network services for use at the Convention Center. Then there were 2 travel donations that we're accepting. And I wanted to highlight for folks a the 2014 holiday event. This was a interesting and robust conversation at the Ways and Means Committee. Obviously, the Holidazzle event it went through its last iteration last year, and over the time, since about 1992, I believe it was, 22 years ago, we've been supporting that activity in downtown as a way to stimulate the retail marketplace along Nicollet Mall. Rather than having, because of timing considerations, we think it's important to bring this forward for your consideration on Friday, and there'll be an amendment to this recommended council action that was brought forward. It was on our consent agenda, so we were not able to really have a fully vetted presentation from the city coordinator's office or the convention center. But we did have a lot of conversation, as we know, about from Steve Kramer with the Downtown Council and our finance staff. And that led to some great conversations that I think resulted in an amended action that I'll be bringing forward at the Friday's council meeting that'll really include a change in our funding stream, and I hopefully will address some of the other questions that were revolved around the scope of the work and the city's commitment. So if there's any further questions on that item, I'd be happy to address that or hear from other members on their opinions.
So I'm going to actually just put myself in queue just because I wanted to clarify, because my understanding, I'm not sure if I was listening, I wasn't sure if you actually said what was the revision to the funding stream, but I thought I had understood that it was revised to come entirely from the convention center fund as opposed to from a portion from the city coordinator's office. And just to say, if that's the case, this makes it something that I certainly can support. I appreciate that there was work done to accommodate concerns. And as I said at the committee, I did not have an issue with the convention center piece of the funding. And I thought this was an important partnership. And so thank you for making those changes. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I would like to just clarify that that is correct, that we decided that the entire funding source would come from the convention center, that we're really asking for, because there's $300,000 already in this budget to continue that funding allocation. So we're really asking for an additional $95,000, and that will be coming from the convention center fund, as that's the source of the funds that are collected in the suite of taxes, hospitality taxes collected downtown. So the scope of that event with our contribution is they're going to be really creating a winter market, and then obviously we're supporting the council and associated costs with the scope of that market and establish a broader Holidazzle district.
All right, I'm not seeing, Councilmember Gordon?
And I had a question about another matter, so if somebody else has discussion about the...
I'm not seeing further discussion, so why don't you go ahead and identify the item you have a question on.
So I was curious about the investment policy and strategy. I'm not finding that in my book. I see that it's online, but so what number would that be? And it sounds like the council is going to be expected to approve the investment and policy strategy. It wasn't just a receive and file that stayed in committee. Is that correct?
That's correct, Council Member. We've been operating under investment guidelines for a number of years, and this is the first creation of an investment policy. It should be item number 12 on our Ways and Means agenda for Friday. We'll make sure that there's a copy available for you. It should be posted online from the Ways and Means agenda itself.
I definitely found it online. I'll just print out a copy and make sure to review it carefully before tomorrow, and I can hole punch it and put my own book to it. It's not a big deal.
All right, and so just checking, I do not see other questions. The next thing on the agenda was there was an announcement, and I don't know if I should turn this to the city clerk or council president to talk about this change in the meeting time.
And Madam Chair, excuse me, the president is coming to Minneapolis tomorrow, and he's going to be speaking at Lake Harriet Pavilion on Friday, and the time could conflict with our council meeting. And we have a number of slots for people to go to that town hall meeting, which apparently public officials, that's the audience for speech that he's going to give. So my thought, and I called Mr. Carl late last night, and I apologize for doing that, just to see if there are any procedural barriers to moving the council meeting up so that we could attend. And our very efficient clerk staff apparently made the change, or is recommending to make the change. But I want to have a discussion with people, so if people could just stop in and talk to me, then we'll figure out what we're going to do. And my thought was that if a number of people want to go, then we can figure out how to get transportation there for people too. So.
And Councilmember Goodman has a question, but I just wanted a clarification. Do we know the time the president is here? I mean, these things
Not
usually
yet.
take a long time to.
Okay. The time that I heard yesterday was 10:30 at Lake Harriet, but I don't know that, and sometimes you have to be there way ahead of when he's going to speak, so I don't know all those details. So.
Okay. Councilmember Goodman.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I certainly will talk to the council president. Whatever you decide is okay with me. But this is going to be a very short council meeting. So it is within the realm of possibility to leave it at 9:30 and look at committee of the whole's taken 19 minutes, and that's partially discussing this. So it might be that it's possible to meet at 9:30 and be done by 10. And then the time in the paper today was actually 10:50.
10:50, okay.
Right, so I'm indifferent. I just want to point out that we've now come to the conclusion this is going to be a very short meeting. We might be able to work it that way, but if it wasn't, clearly moving it might have made more sense.
And I'm not seeing further discussion. Again, Council President has invited council members to drop by her office and have a little bit more personal engagement, so you don't need to make your comments right now. And with that, I believe that we have concluded with our agenda, and so we are adjourned. Thank you very much.